Welcome to our newest series of coffee lectures, and today I will show you how you can stay up to date with the most recent developments in your field. And I want to start out with setting the stage for the problem. So here I was looking in Scopus, how many documents do we have indexed since 1940? And you can see there are almost 100 million publication or entries of some kind in there. And if I try to discern where is the middle, we can see just in the last 15 years, the amount has doubled. So this is cumulative. And of course, this is a problem. There are more and more journals, there are more and more articles, and you somehow want to stay up to date and you don't have time to look everywhere. And then I'll show you a second thing. This is the so-called Rumsfeld matrix. He was a famous US politician, had a doubtful role in many places, but I really like this scheme because it tells us something about what is possible with knowledge. So there is things that we are aware of, that we know. And today I want to talk about known unknowns. So those are things you know. If they appear, you want to learn about them. There is other aspects that would be covered by other things or tools or processes, but today we are talking about the known unknowns and how we can learn about them. And we want some sort of technology that updates you automatically and income search alerts. So they tell you about new publications that fulfill certain criteria, and they could be a certain author. Maybe your boss doesn't always tell you when a publication is out, so that's a way you can learn. Maybe there is a competing group and you want to stay up to date what they do. A new citation to a certain paper that could be yours because you're interested who mentions you. It could be your worst enemies because you want to keep up to date on one of their key publication. Or maybe you have a key paper that your research is founded on that doesn't have many publication, and so you want to learn as soon as possible if somebody is interested. And what you can also do is, if you have developed a complex search that is very specific to what you're interested in, then you can also automate that process. If you come from the chemical side, you can also set alerts for chemical structures that can be ones that already exist, but you can also hypothesize and set an alert for something that hasn't been reported yet, but as soon as it is, you will be notified. And well, there is many places where you can do that. Abstract and indexing databases like Scopus Dimensions, Web of Science. You can do Google Scholar alerts. You can go to PubMed, Embase, but the chemical alerts, but also literature alerts you can do in Reaxys and SciFinder. And now I want to go into the database. So let me start with my first example. So I'll show you Scopus today because it's very nice for very different types of alerts. And so I'll start out with an author alert. So here I have this author, Jose Manuel Lorenzo, and you will learn in a second why I picked him to be updated. So I quickly run the search, and you see we get several hits, but of course I'm interested in the one with the many documents. Because there was some headlines about him. He's a person that had some very productive years. So I'm going to filter this to the 2 years here, 2021 and 2022. And then we can see we have almost 400 documents. So that means almost every couple of days, a new paper came out from this author. And then there is the question, how much can you actually work and how thorough can you be with what you do? But now let's say I'm interested in this author and I want to learn more. So I can look at his author profile. I could just have clicked on the name before already in my initial hit, but I wanted to show you this. And then here I have the option to go to the full profile. And then I can get more information on the author, about his publications over time, or for example, also about his typical co-authors. So if you want to know about collaborations, and then setting an alert is as easy here as clicking on this function. And there is two types of things that you can do. Document alert means whenever a new document is published. That is very useful, I find. There is also the possibility to create a citation alert whenever a new citation appears. I think that can be very dangerous, especially if it's somebody that is very prominent in their field. They get a lot of citations, and then you will be flooded with alerts. And that will typically end up in you not looking at them anymore. So you will just consider it noise. So be very careful with that. I think author citation alerts might be useful for maybe more junior researchers who don't have that prominence yet. And then you can give here some preference. How often do you want these? Do you want to be notified every month, every day, on a certain day? Maybe you have a reading day allocated. So that is the first thing that we can do based on the author. Now let me go back to the initial search. So here I'm going to search another article. And I do that, I search in abstract title. And then for example, will I get my hit? No, now it stays empty. Maybe I need to find this another way. Maybe I have a typo in there. I do not know. So let me try this again. Now I found it. So I have this one article. You see, it's old one from 1850, and it doesn't have any citations. So if my work is based on this and somebody cites this, then I'm pretty sure I want to know who that person is and what they are up to. And so here it's also very easy. You go to the detail entry of the article and you just set the citation alert on your right side. And then it looks very similar. Here sometimes it's, if you click on the wrong place, then it closes again. You need to reopen. You can also give it a name to make it more clear what it will alert you about. Because I mean the number here is a bit cryptic. And again, you can set how often do you want this. And the alert will always just be about the most recent developments. So anything that's already been, you will not be notified because that you have to find with the common search. And then I have my third use case, which would be I have a complex search and I can also do that. So here I have the topic, it's about electroreduction. I'm interested in carbon dioxide and some nitrogen doped materials. So this is a rather specialized area, something that takes time to really narrow down the search that gives you results that you want. But once you have this, again, it's worth setting an alert to even find publications about this in obscure sources, which you might not read regularly. And again, here we can do that from just from the view. So here we see it's a small field. We don't get so many papers. That's a good indication because then you don't get flooded with too many hits. And again, you can set the alert. And it basically looks the same. I have another example here. Now one about structure, and then we will wrap this up. Where do I have it? So here I do have a chemical structure. I can copy this as a smiles. Then I go to SciFinder, to the structure tool. I copy this in, then I create the corresponding structure. I say, okay, search this for me. And this even works if the hit set afterwards is empty. So if you get nothing, you can still save it as an alert. And then I'm here. And here under the save options, I can also say save an alert. I give it a name, and then I can include what I want to learn about. And with that, we're coming to the conclusions here. Or no, need to move down manually. Yeah, so I recommend that you really do this. Decide on a literature database, and Scopus is really nice because it's comprehensive, also because it's well with connecting the authors to the right papers. So if you have an author alert, you're pretty sure that you get most of the publications that they do. That is not always as well in other databases. Make sure you don't overdo it. If you get too many of them, you will be overwhelmed. You won't feel like looking at them. And you have to factor in it's going to cost you time, like everything. But you save the time looking for the stuff because it's delivered directly to you, and it's typically pretty fast. So that can be from a week to 2 weeks, and that is really valuable. So I have a coffee lecture card that summarizes some of these aspects. So I'll quickly pop that in the chat so you can download it. And for those here in the audience, of course, just feel free to grab a copy. Are there any questions here or virtually? If you join via Zoom, feel free to unmute. No. And otherwise, I hope we see you again tomorrow, where Oliver Wren will talk about Elsevier's Research Academy, which is an online course basically that teaches you a lot about different aspects of science, but with a heavy focus on writing and structuring your idea and presenting them in a written format. Okay, thank you very much and have a great day.